How do I deal with feeling guilty for not being as experienced as my friends? We're really diving in right away. How to tell your crush you like them, and how do you tell a boy you like them without it being a huge awkward deal? Worst period experience. Everyone's on their own timeline, and you can never be late for your own life. Hey bestie, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be painting my nails and oversharing. I'm going to be answering all of your guys' questions that I asked you on Instagram, and we're just going to have a little girl talk advice chat, but first, coffee. Good morning! It's actually not morning, it's like 12:40 right now. But we're gonna bake some cookies. I just finished doing my makeup, filmed a couple TikToks. So I wanna make some cookies, maybe make an iced matcha or an iced coffee, and then we can get into our little girl talk. Also, I had an idea. So I have these regular like sugar cookie dough. So I feel like I'm gonna do that, but to jazz it up, I have these little like Reese's mini peanut butter cups from Easter. So I figure I can put some in a bag, crunch them up, and then put them within the cookie dough mix to kind of make like a Reese's cookie type of cookie. I don't know if this is like aesthetic or not, or just like disgusting. I don't know. In my hair, I was there. I remember it all too well. Hopefully they come out good. Personally, I always like my cookies like slightly undercooked, so I'm going to set a timer for maybe 9 minutes. Okay, I think they should be done. Look at them bad boys. Look at them. Now we're gonna let them cool, and then I'll check back in a little bit. All right, time for a taste test. They look really good, honestly. Like, look at that cookie. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. This is so good. This is so good. Pretty proud of myself. This was a good idea. I let my hot coffee cool in the fridge for a little bit, so now it's ready to make some iced coffee. I'm of course using my go-to plain oat milk, the extra creamy original, and I'm gonna froth it up in my Nespresso frother. I ran out of pods, but pods are just so expensive, man. Like, I just can't do it all the time. So doing regular coffee like a regular civilian. Lately I've been loving putting brown sugar in my coffee. So that's what I'm gonna do. Everything comes back to you. Now for the best part. Are you ready? Oh my, he looks gorgeous. Gorgeous, divine. I'm actually gonna add like a sprinkle of cinnamon on top. Just add that little extra something. All right, we have our coffee secured. It is delicious. So before I just had on this like light pink white color, but now it's like chipped, and I have an event on Wednesday, so I want to make sure my nails look really good. So first I'm going to take this off, but I have no idea what color I want to do. I'm kind of in between either like a red, like a bold kind of color, or this light blue color I think is really cute, or this like kind of like mauve-y like rose pink. These three. I feel like I'm between these three. I also haven't looked at any of these questions yet, so I don't know what you guys are gonna ask me, but it seems like you asked me a good amount of questions, so let's see. First one is, how do I deal with feeling guilty for not being as experienced as my friends? We're really diving in right away. So, I am 25 now. I've never been in a relationship, never had sex, still a virgin. Why did I say it like that? I'm still a virgin, and I feel like that's a very like taboo topic to talk about. I feel like people can sometimes feel embarrassed by that fact, but honestly, the more that I think about it, it's just so silly. It's like everyone's on their own timeline, and you could never be late for your own life. You know what I mean? Like, everyone has their own timeline, their own story. Like, you wouldn't want your life to go like anyone else's, because you have to do what's right for you and what feels right to you, and just let your story play out the way it's gonna play out. Like, why would you force yourself to do something when you don't actually like feel it in the moment? Like, why wouldn't you wait till you find someone right and like that the moment feels right? Like, why would you force yourself to do anything else? That's just silly. So I feel like I'm not really embarrassed by that fact. Like, would I have liked to have been in a relationship by now, or like had a relationship? Obviously, yes, that would be nice, but I was never gonna like force myself to try to go on dates with guys that I wasn't interested in, or like try to search for something. Like, I've always been in the headspace of like, oh, if it's right, it'll happen. Like, that person will just come into my life. Like, I've always put put more focus on myself and like my dreams and my goals and like doing what I want to do. Like I just never felt that pressure, I guess. I always just feel like it's just gonna come and like I'm gonna have that relationship, and like why would I compare my journey, my story to someone else when like I want to do what makes me happy and what feels right for me. So like yeah, that person may be doing X, Y, and Z, but like I have to do what's for me and what feels right to me, and everyone has their own timeline, so you're never late, you're never behind, you're always on your own time, and that's something that's definitely helped me to like remind myself. So I don't think you should feel bad about that or ashamed about that, and you should definitely not feel guilty, girl. Like you do you, like don't put that weird pressure on yourself to feel like, oh well, other people and other friends have done X, Y, and Z. Like, do I need to do X, Y, and Z? No. You don't. And if you do, that's great. Like, I'm not poo-pooing either way to go about it, especially like in college. I feel like the culture is so like hookup culture, and I did have those moments where I'm like, should I just get it over with? Like, everyone else is doing this, but like at the end of the day, like that just didn't feel right to me, and I'm so glad that I didn't, because I just think it's honestly so much better to wait for someone that you actually really like and feel safe with and comfortable with than to just like do it because you think you need to, which is so weird, but like that is like the mindset of a lot of people. But I feel like you don't force yourself to do anything that you don't actually want to do. You know, there's so many other things to stress about, you know what I mean? So don't stress about that. You're doing fine, you're doing great, you're on your own time. So you just can't compare yourself to other people. And again, there's like nothing wrong with hookup culture. If that works for you, do your thing, girl, but don't ever feel bad about like not doing that. And I honestly think it's so much more fun and so much better when you do wait for someone that you really, really like and that you're comfortable with. So I guess that's a little like mindset thing that helps me like deal with not feeling bad about not being as experienced as my friends and like other people. I hope that helped. I hope that answers your question, because you literally have nothing to feel bad about. Like, absolutely nothing. Like, you should be proud of yourself for actually doing what feels right to you. Go you! Go you! The next one is, do you ever have FOMO? If so, how do you deal with it? I have had FOMO. Not a lot, really, because honestly, I love being home, and I love, like, reading my little books or, like, doing my content creation. Like, if plans are canceled or if I can't do something, like, I'm actually okay with that. Like, I'm actually having a good time. Like, even if it's just me, myself, and I, like, I'm having a ball, I'm having a grand old time. So I don't get FOMO a lot, but when I do, or if there's like an event that I missed, or just like things that I was looking forward to that I couldn't go to, or if like people are doing something, having fun, and I couldn't go, or like whatever the situation is, I would recommend the best way of dealing with FOMO is to, I know it's so hard, but like get off social media, like stop looking at pictures, stop looking at videos of like whatever the event is. Like you just can't do it to yourself. And then do something that makes you happy. Do something that's fun, like for yourself. You'll be having so much fun doing that thing that you'll be like not even thinking about what other people are doing. Like just focus on you. And this kind of like ties into the last question before. Like don't look around comparing yourself to everyone else, like looking at what other people are doing. Like stay in your lane, because that's how you're gonna get to where you're meant to get to. You can't go into other people's lanes, other people's roads. Like that's not gonna take you where you wanna be. I don't know what analogy I'm going with, but I hope you get what I mean. Like, do what makes you happy. If you have FOMO, stay off social media and just do something that makes you happy. Do something that you can have fun doing, that you won't even be thinking about what other people are doing, because you're gonna be having so much fun. Okay, the next question is worst period experience. Honestly, probably my first time getting my period, because I literally thought I was dying. I was like screaming for my mom. But I feel like everyone's like first period story is always like the most traumatic because, you know, just the nature of it. But I can't really think of like a bad experience. I feel like being in school with my period was always the worst, like especially like middle school, and like everyone's like, ooh, like I don't know like if anyone else did this too, but I would go to the bathroom with like a pouch, and it was like supposed to be inconspicuous, like, oh, you had your pads in this like cute little pouch, whatever, but I feel like it was even more obvious because I was just like, oh, let me go to the bathroom with this, you know, pouch that who knows what could be in it. But again, like, why was I so ashamed about having my period? Like in middle school, like it always used to be something that was like, ooh, like, oh my god, you have your period. Middle school was the most awkward time because everyone's going through these awkward changes and like you're getting your period for the first time, so everything just felt a whole lot more awkward, I guess. And also the worst, oh my god, the worst feeling in the world is when you stand up and like you have a heavy flow and you just, oh my god, it's the worst feeling ever. So hated having those moments in school because I just felt so uncomfortable. I can't remember like a specific worst experience that I've had. I also, every time like someone asks me like, oh, like what's your most embarrassing story, like I don't know. Like I'm pretty sure I block everything from memory because I cannot recall. Like everything is just gone. Yesterday, I don't know her. So I feel like whenever people ask me like specific stories, like I literally have no idea. I have no idea because I block everything from memory. So I feel like worst period experience, I mean, obviously like leaking and then like getting it on your clothes or like you get it on a chair or something, like that's so embarrassing. Yeah, I can't really recall a specific story or time, so that's probably for the best. Next question is, how many books do you read a month? It really depends. Like, I feel like especially in the summer, I love to read in the summer, especially like on the beach. So I tend to read a lot more in the summer. But in March, I read one book. I think that was Bride by Ali Hazelwood. Like, it's very inconsistent. Like, one month I can read like 10 books in a month. And then the next month I'm like, oh, I can't even get through one book. It really depends on my mood. Okay, someone else said, I feel so bad for being 21 and never even kissed someone. Girl, honestly, you guys don't know how comforting it is to like get messages like these of like you guys kind of like going through the same situation where like you've never been kissed yet or never been in a relationship yet or never had sex yet. Like, it's just so validating to me because I felt like when I was going through it, like it always felt like I was the only one, especially in college, I always felt like I was the only one who like was a late bloomer, I guess, in like a lot of aspects. I love you guys, and just know there is nothing, like, you should never feel bad about anything like that ever. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you, okay? Do you hear that? There's nothing wrong with you. I feel like that's the first place your head goes, like, oh, like, what if I'm not good enough to date? Oh, is that why? Like, maybe I'm not enough. Maybe I'm, like, cut it right there. Nothing is wrong with you. You're just going at your own pace, at your own timeline, and that is so okay. Like, I never even went on a date, never kissed someone until, like, my freshman year of college. And then even the guys I was going on dates, like, went through a period where I was like, okay, let me just say yes to dates, like, and just get myself out there in that respect because, like, I'd never been on a date. So the dates that I was going on, I didn't really like them. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't really like them, so it wasn't really fun, and I didn't enjoy the dates, but I chalked it up to, like, oh, experience, like, talking to people and, like, you know, just having date experience. But yeah, no. So it's like, even if you force yourself to do it, like, you wouldn't actually enjoy it because it's not with someone that you actually like or something that you actually want to do or are ready for. And I feel like even for a while, I thought I was ready for a relationship, but I really wasn't. So moral of the story is never feel pressured to be on a certain timeline. Like, just do what feels right to you and know that it's so okay to, like, be on your own timeline. Like, you're definitely not the only one. And it's so okay to just take your time. Like, just let your story play out the way it's going to play out. Like, don't add this weird pressure of like, oh, by this time I should have done this, and this. Like, it's fine. And if you do find someone that's cute that you might like, go on a date. Like, sometimes it could be, you know, pushing yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit to, like, go on a date and talk to people and meet people. Like, maybe that plays a factor in it too. But, like, when you're at that point, like, don't force yourself to do anything that you don't actually want to do. But yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you, and this is so much more common than you might think it is. I feel like not a lot of people talk about it, so you don't really know, but the more that I've talked about it, the more, like, messages I get about this. Like, it's so common, and it's so okay. Okay, next up, I have 2 questions along the lines of, like, how to tell your crush you like them, and how do you tell a boy you like them without it being a huge awkward deal? So, personally, I would never. Like, I would never straight out say it. I'd be too embarrassed and too awkward to do that. Personally, for me, I would kind of, like, put the vibes out, I guess. Like, I would be a little flirty, maybe say something a little flirty, or, like, touch their arm, or, like, I don't know, like, just put out the flirty vibes a little bit and, like, see how they respond. And I feel like I would do it in just, like, a very subtle way that, like, I won't be getting my feelings hurt, you know what I mean? Like, I'll just, like, know that for myself. I won't be, like, putting myself out there necessarily, like, and exposing how I actually feel, but I'll just, like, put out the vibes. I don't know how helpful that is. Just be a little flirty and see how they respond, and if, like, they give, like, the flirtiness back, and, like, if they kind of, like, show that too, then, like, you can work from there, I guess. Are they touchy with you? Do they make flirty comments to you? If you drop something, would they be, you know, someone to pick it up? I don't know. I'm thinking about, like, in the olden days where, like, they would drop their napkin and, like, the guy would pick it up for them. Like, you have to kind of play it cool, because honestly, if a guy likes you, like, you'll know. Like, if you're confused if a guy likes you or not, like, more often than not, they just don't like you. And, like, it's good to know that so you can be like, okay, moving on, you know? But, you know, like, I feel you. For the longest time when I was younger, like, my type was not interested in me. Those were the guys that I was having crushes on because it was just fun, and, like, again, another sign that I think I was not actually ready for a relationship, and, like, I was just, I don't know what I was doing. But, like, yeah, so I see you, I hear you, I feel you, but you just have to get out there. If he doesn't like you, if he's not showing you that he likes you, if he's not putting in the effort, going to talk to you, like, I feel like when a guy likes you, like, you just know. And if you're confused, then the answer is no. And even if he does like you and, like, maybe he's, like, stringing you on or, like, keeping you as an option, like, that's not good either. So, like, if he's not making it absolutely clear, get out of there, man. Get out of there. Because what are you doing that for? Like, why would you want someone who's, like, lukewarm about you or, like, keeping you as an option and not actually, like, making it so clear that, like, he wants to be with you? Like, why would you settle for less? And another question is how to get over a crush. If your crush is not making it so clear that they want to be with you, then, like, you gotta cut it off right there. And how you get over them? Like, just remember your worth. Like, remember how amazing you are and how lucky anyone would be to be with you and to even, like, be in your presence. How lucky they are. Like, the person that gets to be with you, so lucky. So incredibly lucky. So just remember your worth, remember that, and don't settle for less. And another thing you could maybe do is, like, think about icks that you have about that person, and, like, picture them doing embarrassing things or like pooping. I don't know. Maybe that's a bad one. Just like, I don't know, like picture like awkward things that like are gross about guys. And just remember that whenever you have a crush, you always put them on a pedestal and like you think they're like this amazing person, but then it's like, do you actually really know this person? Or are you just like in love with the idea you have of them like in your head and like the scenarios that you've made up and like everything about them that you've made up in your head? And it's maybe not even the actual person that you actually like. So I think those would be some of my tips for getting over a crush. And the thing is, like, that person can be a great person, you could be a great person. That doesn't always mean that you're compatible. You know what I mean? Like, you could have two great people. He could be amazing, you could be amazing. That doesn't mean that you would work as a couple. That doesn't mean that you're compatible. When it doesn't work, you can just say, okay, that's not the one for me. So don't sweat it, and you're gonna find your person. Okay, the next question is advice for building self-confidence and feeling secure in yourself. So this is one of my favorite topics because it just means so much to me. I spent so much of my life, and I mean so much of my life, being insecure about myself, like incredibly insecure and never feeling good enough, always comparing myself to the people around me. Like I spent so many years ruining good moments, always thinking about what I looked like, comparing myself, feeling bad about myself. Like I spent so many years, I feel like honestly, I didn't really feel secure in myself, like truly, genuinely, until I graduated college. And that's an insane statement to make, but I feel like in college I was probably in the worst state of my life as far as like what I looked like and how I felt about myself, because I felt like what I looked on the outside didn't match who I knew I was on the inside and like who I wanted to be and like how I wanted to feel. And I just had the worst habits in college. Everything about it, I was eating bad, I wasn't working out at all, I like gained a lot of weight. And I'm not saying that weight is a bad thing and that it's anything ever to be insecure about ever. No, not at all. But personally, I just wasn't taking care of myself, and that showed, and it showed up in the way I felt about myself too. So honestly, to be like super real, like it wasn't until I started working out, once I started putting work into myself, and even like mindset wise, like I started reading self-help books, listening to podcasts every day, like I started to really put the work into myself, into my mindset, into my self-love, and just like exposing myself every day to those types of things, taking care of myself. And that was when I really started to fall in love with myself and finally feel like the outside matched who I felt like I was on the inside and who I saw myself as. And I just started to really fall in love with myself and really feel secure in who I am and how I look. And that's not to say I don't have my bad days and I don't have days where I feel really insecure and still compare myself to other people, but I can easily say, and I don't know if it's also like a matter of like growing older and just like maturing, that this kind of happens. Maybe it's just a natural thing too, but I am in the best place of my life as far as my self-love and my security in myself. Like I genuinely love myself, and the fact that I can say that is just the best accomplishment in the world to me, because I've spent years kind of like building that self-love and working on that self-love, that like to say that I'm in a place right now where I feel so good about myself, so secure in myself, that when I think back to younger me, like I'm just so proud of my own growth and like so proud of my journey with self-love. And it's a never-ending journey, and you're gonna have your ups and downs every day, but like I just feel like I'm in the best place I've ever been in, and I just feel so proud of myself that I can say that. And I feel like putting in the work to take care of yourself, exposing yourself to either, you know, positive YouTubers or like podcasts, self-help books, like anything that will kind of help your mindset with self-love really does make a difference. Putting in effort as far as like skincare, hair care, doing little things that make you feel good about yourself. And honestly, posting on social media has like made a huge difference in my confidence, me speaking my mind and like feeling confident in myself, because I'm seeing myself every day, I'm editing myself, and I feel like in the process of doing that, like it really proved to me that what I have to say matters. And as much as I am kind of a social person, I am still like kind of quiet and shy in person too. So having a platform where I can just speak my mind and really prove to myself that like what I have to say matters and people care about what I have to say, even if no one cares about what I have to say, like I can say it anyway, you know what I mean? And there's like power in that, and there's confidence in me. Just like posting on social media and creating content has been one of the things that like has absolutely improved my self-confidence. And I feel like my confidence has just grown so much ever since posting online. So I feel like I can't talk about self-love and self-confidence without also mentioning that, because I feel like it's been a big part. And I also feel like when you have a goal or a dream that you're working towards, like that also adds self-confidence. Like, oh, I wanted to do this thing and I'm working towards it, and I have confidence in myself, and when I reach a little goal, I celebrate myself, and I feel like you build a sense of self-confidence that way too. Those would be some of my tips for self-confidence and self-love. You are so amazing and so beautiful, and I hope you just fall so absolutely in love with yourself, because you deserve it. And the thing is, you're gonna go through life, you're gonna change, you're gonna grow, but like you are the one constant in your life. You are your own best friend. You are gonna take this journey of life with yourself. So why not just fall absolutely in love with yourself? Don't waste perfectly good moments of your life always thinking about how you look or being insecure and like comparing yourself to other people, because comparison really is the thief of joy. And why not enjoy yourself and have fun with this life, because you only get the one, instead of wasting it always comparing yourself to other people or wishing it was different. And those daily habits that you put into it, like it really does make a difference over time. Okay, next question is favorite YA books. I love, let me see, The Summer of Broken Rules, The Summer I Turned Pretty, love that series. Check and Mate was really cute. The Natural series I would definitely recommend. Better Than the Movies is one of my all-time favorite romance books. The Bodyguard by Catherine Center is also really good, and I feel like those would be my top YA book recs. And then another question is some social media goals I have. So currently I'm at 48.5k followers on TikTok, and I would love to hit 50k, hopefully 100k in the near future. All around, like, would love to have 100k subscribers, 100k on Instagram, and 100k on TikTok. That is the dream and the goal. Like, I can't wait to hit that milestone. Especially YouTube, I feel like that's been the slowest growth for me, so really being able to grow on there is a huge goal of mine this year. So we'll see by the end of the year what happens, but that is my goal. And then other than followers, I would love some more brand collaborations, especially like more paid brand collaborations. I would love that. I already got to collab with Princess Polly, and that was one of like my dream collabs, and eventually I would love to collab with Rare Beauty because that's another brand that would absolutely be like a dream collab of mine. I love Selena Gomez, I love Rare Beauty so much, so like that's one of my goals too. And then going to more influencer events and brand events, getting to make some influencer friends, that's one of my goals too. And I already went to one this month, and I got invited to another event that's next week, so I'm super excited for that. I feel like my goals are coming true and my dreams are happening, so I'm so excited about that. And I already made like one social media bestie that I got to meet in person, so I feel like things are happening, and I feel like I'm accomplishing some of the goals that I had. But I would love to go to some more events. They're honestly so fun, and it's so fun to get ready for and like pick out an outfit. Like, I just love the whole experience in general. Like, it's so fun, and to like get to meet other like content creators and people doing the same thing as me is always so fun. So I would definitely like to do more of that. That's like a big goal of mine. And eventually, like, would love to go to a brand trip. Like, Tarte take me to Bora Bora, like YSL Beauty take me to Paris. Like these brand trips are insane, and I would love to be invited to one and like be a part of a brand trip on any level, in any form, because I think they're so cool. So that is another social media goal of mine. I want to keep growing and see what happens. There was one quote that I posted on my story today that's really just been keeping me going, is I just want to see what happens if I don't give up. Is it just me, or does that blow your mind too? Like, I just want to see what happens if I don't give up, because you never want to give up on something and then always wonder like, what if I did this? Or be in a place where like, oh, I wish I did this sooner, or I wonder what would have happened if I didn't give that up. And I feel like I never want to live with that regret, or like live with wondering what if. So that's been a big motivator for me. I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna stay consistent, and I just want to see what happens if I don't give up. Another goal of mine would be to like design something or create, whether that's like merch or like loungewear, or even like designing some type of jewelry, or designing like lip glosses or something. But yeah, I definitely have some dreams and goals when it comes to social media, and I guess we'll see what happens. Because I am a big believer in just staying delulu and staying delusional until your dreams come true, because I think that's how you make it happen. You know, you gotta believe in yourself and you gotta stay delusional. So yeah, so those are some of the social media goals that I have. My go-to coffee order has always been an iced vanilla latte with oat milk. That's just my go-to. Whenever I go to a cafe, like that's my go-to. That's what I always like to order, because it's just a staple. Like every time I've had it, like you just can't go wrong with it. I honestly feel like I'm the worst at painting my nails, because I kind of just like glob everything on, and I just don't take my time with it because I have zero patience. Like, definitely not my neatest work, but I feel like they look fine. And it'll also, like, in the shower, it'll, like, wipe off the excess, whatever. So I'm gonna go in with a long-lasting top coat. I also got all of these from Olive & June. They sent me, like, a bunch of their nail polishes, and I'm absolutely obsessed with them. And I love this brand so much, like, my new favorite nail polish brand ever. And I'm also so impatient when it comes to painting my nails. Like, I always find, like, a million things to do after I paint them, because I just can't sit still. So I'm gonna try really hard to just, like, not do anything and let them actually dry nice, because again, I want them to look nice for the event and not have jacked up looking nails. But yeah, I think those are all the questions that you guys had. Thank you so much for like asking me questions and responding to my Instagram story. If you're not following me on Instagram already, go follow me on there so you can stay updated and be a part of these types of videos. But I hope some of my answers helped you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed this little girl talk. I definitely had fun making this and just like getting to sit down and chat with you guys. So this was really fun to make, and if you want me to do more videos like this in the future, I would obviously love to. Let me know down below. These are the finished nails, and with that, I'm going to try to sit still and not do anything. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you watched the end of this video, leave a pink heart emoji in the comments below, because you're a real one, and I love you so— oh my god, did I smudge them? I love you guys so much, and I'll catch you in the next one. Love ya! Bye.